Welcome back to the Cornish Field Kitchen, episode 5, I think it is. We had a little technical glitch. You were talking about being general manager and the head chef at the same time, and the challenge of that.
So we'll try and go again, shall we?
What else did we talk about? What
we've done together, and did we?
You've been my boss.
Yeah, that's it.
At various things. I've been your boss at a couple of weddings, and then we did a partnership of
The duck truck.
the duck truck,
That's what we kind of got
which
to, didn't
is
we?
enormous fun.
Oh, we did loads with the duck truck, didn't we? Outside events all over the place. We did a little festival, tunes and the jeans.
Little festival tunes and the jeans.
How many burgers a day did we sell? Oh, 1,000.
When we ended up being the only people serving food.
Yeah, because the weather was in a certain way, wasn't it?
And everyone ran out.
These guys over there couldn't open their tents, and we were on this side, and we could, and the water was coming underneath.
Hardest
us.
I've ever worked, I think.
We were both going crazy.
Out the
you
back.
were outside with a pair of goggles on, almost.
Two barbecues, throwing them at you. That was good fun. And going up to Bristol very early in the morning
we
to
did
do
not
it
about that.
for Nick.
Yeah. Selling duck burgers.
Duck burgers and stuff.
Those burgers were fantastic.
With the late Charlie doing videos and stuff.
Oh, wow, yes. Bless
It was a
him.
menace.
That was great, wasn't it? Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah. I loved his videos. For Total Produce.
Yes.
And they're still online. Like I catch up with them, and I look at them again now and again just to see Charlie being Charlie, and but he was always thinking ahead. So he's at this market for an early morning coffee fundraiser thing, and we're doing our thing. But he's getting to the time. Can you just do a bit to camera and go leaks? But that's not for this. This is for like
2
something.
weeks' time or something.
He was always thinking ahead. He was a great guy. So yeah, the duck truck we did.
So we did the duck truck. What else did we do after that? We did tunes. We've just been cooking together for a long time.
Yeah, on the boat was pretty good.
The boat was great. That Padstow.
The cooking on before the duck truck was actually ready. We did a Padstow festival, and we were on the Jubilee Queen on the deck of the boat.
That was hilarious, wasn't it?
And then who did you spot walking by?
Well, we had. I think I looked at my phone the other day, and I've still got all the pictures we had. We had Tom Kerridge came on, we had Sat Baines, Paul Ainsworth. They all tried our burgers.
Yeah.
And
But pretty much at the same time.
And it was
it was mad.
We had guys from Rodders. We had Richard from Rodders would come over and have a burger with us. We had James Nappett came and had a burger with us. He came and had a burger.
See, I sat next to James
people.
Nappett at one of Phil's chef club's dinner, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I didn't know him from, and I said, what's the plans? And he goes, I'm going to do a restaurant in London. Well, amazing, what's
Bubble
going to be? Champagne and hot dogs. I'm going,
how's that going to work?
that's mental, but that's really interesting. So, yeah.
He's done amazingly, hasn't he? I went to
his-
one of his dinners at, this guy who used to get deer for us when I worked in Boscastle, and he did some private dining for him, and I went to that dinner, and it was crazy. He did these marshmallows that were flavoured with pine. And they were great. I mean, just the stuff that James did cooking-wise was amazing. Yeah.
So I heard of Bubble Dogs from the guy behind Bubble Dogs before it became a thing. And see, that was a joy of, that's still the joy of it, is the connecting with people, and you never know where things will lead or where your paths will cross again. I love all that. So we've got a shared history, and
we've kept in contact all the way through.
always
all the way through. And it's nice.
So you're kind of out of it at the moment.
Well, so I came out of cooking as a professional job, I suppose, around COVID time. Really, I was working down the road at the Pickwick. I was the exec chef there, and it was a really hard time for everyone. The business was challenged quite massively. I was having to do the same offering but cut down the staff, which is just everyone had to do it.
Yeah.
And I got to a point, and I think I was classically burnt out, if I'm really honest. I think I'd not had enough. I just had enough of being put under pressure in that particular way, and I just wanted to stop.
Yeah.
And I think it was the best thing I've done, to be honest with you, because I now cook. I do weddings for a lady who runs a catering company down in Helston.
You can name
Kira.
Kira's
amazing. Hi, Kira. She does some amazing things, and I'm really lucky to be able to do some work for her.
And you did the street food thing.
I did Firebox Street Food.
Firebox.
Yeah, and that was brilliant because I just decided it was a time when everyone was cooking under a gazebo doing things, and I was kind of like one of the first guys down at Tregew. They do a really, really nice market, like a farmer's market, and I went down there and I walked around it before we traded, and I looked around and no one was doing bacon sandwiches, and I thought to myself, why we're not doing bacon? Well, someone should do it. So we went down there with the best bacon we could find, with the best bread we could find, in a really simple setup, and did really well.
Yeah.
And I just thought this is great. So then we sort of developed the menu, and we worked in different places, and I did different pop-ups, one in Newquay, one in St Agnes, just different places.
But there's also working with your family as well, which is,
that was big, really big. I had Abby and Sam and Joe and myself, and we went out and did some cooking together, and that really brought us back together in the sense of I'd always been cooking and going out really early in the morning and coming home at stupid time at night, and still being able to do what I loved, but involving my family was immense.
Yeah.
The best thing I've ever done there was crazy, and I loved it, and they all loved it. And you know, my children, I've always said to them, you know, I don't ever want you to be a chef because I know the hours and I know the way it works, but I want you to learn to cook. And that, for me to get to teach them to cook, for me it's huge. You know, really, I find it quite, it's lovely, to be honest with you. Love that.
So that sort of comes to an end, the street food?
Yeah, street food definitely for me. I'm now working as a site manager, what people used to call a caretaker actually, in a school in Truro. And a big change of direction. I said to myself, I don't want to just teeter on the edge of catering. I've got to get out of it completely, because then I can actually focus on a job which I'm going to hopefully enjoy, which I do. I love it, what I do now. And I want to be able to do catering now and then, so I do a little bit of work for Henk down at the Halfway House.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Whenever he needs a bit of help, I go and work for Henk. Henk's always
We all
been
do that.
Yeah.
We're all on the list.
Yeah, well, I mean, Henk's always been a really good friend of mine, and so with that in mind, and I've worked for him before, and I just said to him, I'm very happy for you to call on me, and I'll come and help you whenever you want.
Yeah.
And so I do a bit for him, and do some stuff for Kira, so I still dip my toe in.
But it's not that.
It's not my main job, and I don't have the same
full,
pressure.
Exactly. Yeah.
To be fair, I don't have to worry. It's not my main source of income. It's really helpful, of course it is, but it just enables me to still do what I love, because I love cooking and I always will. But I don't want that to now be
on your terms, I suppose.
Exactly, not the bread and butter, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it works really great.
Well, I'm glad to hear that it's.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of know that it's working out. You do talk, but it's.
But it's a big thing when you've been cooking for so long to change your career. I mean, I'm 51 this year.
No way.
So I'm a bit younger than you, mate. Well, then I've got
51.
More grey hair, though, brother. Or no hair. But it's quite good fun being able to change your career at this time in my life and do all right. And I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure I haven't succeeded to my pinnacle of what I may want to do or may get to, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I think that's half the battle.
It's priceless. Enjoy what you do.
Quality of life, isn't it?
You know.
Quality of life.
I mean, the kids are getting older, so you had that period when they were available to do street food. There'll come a point when, I mean, it's like Dan, he's like booking an appointment to see him. He's off doing his own thing.
That's it.
So, really,
exactly
we
that.
did street food during lockdown, actually, when the restrictions were allowed. I think that's the first time we worked together, doing some, under a gazebo, some simple street food at a campsite. And that's, I think, where he got his interest of maybe this is something to do. But yeah, this isn't the Dan episode, and he's not going to come on it anyway, so.
And it's quite funny because I think, and Dan will find the same, and you probably find the same, and me definitely for sure, is that you don't start off in catering a lot of the time. You fall into it. And when you fall into it, you realise how much you love it.
Yeah.
And then you carry on. And for me, that's exactly what happened. I just sort of almost like tripped into catering and really enjoyed it and thought, I should do this for a job.
Yeah.
So I did.
I was, the strange thing is I don't know if it's strange, but I still love it. I mean, my circumstances have completely changed, and the variety of stuff I do, and that's probably the best thing, because you haven't got. Yesterday felt very restauranty, because I did a lunch and a dinner, and the printer wasn't working. It was very reminiscent of the Margot days, like, and deliveries.
Forgot the float for the till and all those things.
But it was very reminiscent of the past, but in a brand new setup, and it's not every day. I'm older than you and getting on, and it's just like I like the variety of not picking and choosing, but not having to have all your eggs in one basket and just this is your life, this is what you do, almost 24/7. The variety keeps me sane and keeps it really interesting. And then, going back to what you said earlier, having a platform that is very flexible. We can do some teaching, or you're doing this, or it started off we needed a production kitchen. That's what we both needed. So you build that. The rest of it is just sort of add-ons. I'm going to cut this off in a minute because we ran out of memory, and I don't want to have to start again. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything at all?
Is there anything else to talk about? I mean, it's all about cooking, isn't it? We all love what we do, and like I've changed what I do now, and you've changed what you do now, in that sense of, it's not, for me, it's not a full-time job, but I still love cooking, and I think for me, it's, you're within the cooking thing, you learn every day, you're learning something new every day. I've still got that old school mindset that, you head in a chopping board and you do what you do, you've got a mise en place list and la la la, and I know that definitely in kitchens now things change, and it has changed a lot, and sometimes I find it hard to get my head back into the way that people are working. So if I walk into a kitchen where people are doing stuff, I'm like, hang on a minute, this is not how we used to do this, or we do that, and you have to change. But something that as you get older, you sort of you get a lot more relaxed in what you're doing. But it's still really important to get the food out properly. It's still really important to, the customer's always right. The customer is always the other one you're working for, because they've come in on a special occasion and you're cooking for them. We shouldn't rush it, we should make it right, we should always cook to the best of our ability, and it's not all about numbers, it's about making it right on the plate. And I think that for me that's the most important thing. I would rather do half the amount of covers and do it properly than race out 50 covers or 100 covers or whatever it might be for the
Those are my biggest bugbear is when, I don't go out that much, but, back when you do go out and if the line comes, oh, I'm really sorry, we're busy, you go, yeah, you're supposed to be.
Because that's your job.
That's what you're supposed to be geared up for. But I'm not going to rant about things because we've had a nice positive chat with a dear old friend.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming up.
No, thank you. It's been really great to hopefully.
So it's going to be there may be 2 episodes going out because can't edit it together, or I'll get a young person to show me how to splice 2 clips together. But thank you.
No, thank you. That's great.
As always, and I don't have to say keep in touch because we always do. We always,
absolutely. The wonder of the mobile phone and social media. Yeah.
And there was the other thing you taught me. Oh yeah, the word menace. You've always described people the other like fucking menace, and I described you the other day. I said he's one of my dearest friends, but he is a fucking menace. Is that an appropriate way to finish?
I think it is.
The fucking menace.
Nice one, brother.